I told him, sure, you think you're better than me. Well, let me tell you something, Buster. You take away your good looks, your great upbringing, parents who cared for you, that private school from grade 2 to 5, which made you accelerate in high school and later gave you the confidence you need to be a leader amongst your peers in university and in your career. Sure. Take away your six-figure salary, your big dick, your hot wife, your five-bedroom house in the good part of town, your dog, your cat, your sports car, your yearly vacation to Barbados, and yes, we're exactly the same. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, hope you're all doing well. It is May 24th, 2021. Where's the time going? Where's the time gone? But it's here. Happy May 2-4 weekend, everybody. Here in Canada, whoever's celebrating Victoria Day long weekend. That's right. And to whoever else is celebrating around this beautiful world we call the blue planet, the floating bubble. Happy May 24th, wherever you are, man. I hope you guys have had a great weekend. I've had a great weekend. You know, taking it slow, taking it easy, experimenting, writing down some ideas for you guys. Want to get a lot out there. And things that I want to discuss today, I'll stick, it's going to be a mixed bag today. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. One of my favorite words that I came across this, I've heard this word before many times. You guys have probably heard it, but I love it. I just love the way it sounds. Dossier. Have you received a dossier? Did Jim forward you the dossier from accounting? The dossier. It just sounds better. Instead of hearing did you receive the documents? I like the dossier, dude. Have you received that dossier, the confidential dossier? I've been looking for that dossier, dude. I can't remember where I put it, but I gotta find it. Yeah. Just took a shot, left the Glock on the spot. Put him in a joke hold is what I told myself. Put him in a joke hold today. Tickle their brains from far away. Or something, dude. Boys and girls, what do we want to talk about today? A lot of random ideas. Let's see here. Okay, alright, let's begin with the flying lights in the sky over the weekend. If you're in Mississauga, if you're in Toronto, because I'm in Toronto and I look out to the west of the city, been seeing some flying lights. Saw some on Saturday, 3 in a row, and I'm just like, I'm out there, right? I'm out there on the balcony doing some stargazing, because that's what your boy likes to do in the evenings. Do a little bit of stargazing. That's what it is. Looking for you, that's right. You know who you are. Looking out into the sky, I'm like, talk to me, sky, what's going on, man? And then all of a sudden, boop, 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 3 little lights are following one another, and I'm like, don't worry, I'm just checking my pulse, checking my senses, not having a stroke, don't worry about it. If you saw the flying lights, don't worry about it. You weren't having a stroke either. And yeah, I'm just like, alright, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. The aliens are here, and they're coming in a nice, neat order, though, I'll tell you that. They were really cool, calm, and collected. Nobody was jumping ahead. Everybody was following suit. At least that's what I thought initially when I saw them. I'm like, alright, that's it. They're coming to land. And it's going down. It's going down this long weekend. What a great time. If they were come on a long weekend. Let's everybody have let's everybody stay, cool, calm, and collected. Don't go to work. Take a day off. Let's just embrace one another and start communicating. But it's not aliens, or it's not, I was reading the following day. They're like, if you saw some flying lights in the sky, don't panic. It's Musk. It's Elon Musk's Neuralink satellites. No, wait, not Neuralink. Starlink. Man, it's too many companies, dude. You're running too many companies. Boring, Starlink, SpaceX, Tesla, this. I can't keep up. Jesus. But apparently it's the satellites that will be providing us with a good, talking about that internet Wi-Fi. Wireless fidelity. Did you guys know what that stands for? Fidelity? So I guess when you're having interruptions in your connections, you're having infidelity, wireless infidelity or something, dude. I don't know. A lot of things happening, a lot of exciting events occurring in and around the city. Little by little, things are hopefully starting to ease up, although a lot of businesses are hurting and they're like, do it faster, do it quicker. And here, man, your boy can't wait till things open up. I'm just eager. I'm just, I'm waiting patiently, waiting for everything to open up. But my heart goes out if all of us, man, we've endured so much. It's been a trying heck of a time this past Schmovid period. And here we are, May 24th. Jeez Louise. Started when? When did it start? It's been more than a year. We can definitely say that. It's been more than a year. And Canada needs to just, let's go a little bit. Let's go open up the businesses, open up the shops, let the peepsies go out there. We're taking our time, and yeah, a lot of things, a lot of uncertainties, but still a lot of nice things out there as well. Like yesterday, I'll tell you this. For example, I went out for a walk as I normally do on the weekends. I'm just out there walking, listening to my music, playing video games in my head essentially. That's what it is. Playing video games, but in real time. And, people are out and about, and I saw this man pour some water for some bitch, dude. It was a female dog. It was a female dog, and she loved it. She loved it. It was a lady walking her bitch, and this gentleman came out from this shop, and he just like, here's this bowl of water for your bitch. His words, not mine. That's what he said. And they both laughed and giggled, and the doggy enjoyed it, so that's what that was. But man, it's get out there is what I'm trying to tell you. Get out there. Have some fun. That's right, have some fun. But at the same time, we do need to have discussions about well, how are we gonna get things opened up, because we can't do it without the infrastructure, without support, dude. What's going on? Because so many people have lost their businesses, so many people have stopped, their revenues have stopped, their means of income have stopped. Everybody's just trying their best, but at the same time, it's like, what can we do to improve the situation? What can we do to improve the situation? Today, maybe I'll argue for, it's always the obvious answer. Oh, you got to get the kids educated. You got to get them the maths, the sciences. And that's great, absolutely. But today, I'm going to specifically, maybe for a brief moment of your time, talk about how maybe we shouldn't be teaching math at all. Maybe let's just scrap math. I don't know. Just throwing out ideas. Don't listen to this guy, but listen to this guy also. If you want to support your boy, go ahead and support your boy by clicking that link that will direct you to the Patreon page, and you got yourself a three-tier system, workplace area where you can find what's needed to, suit your needs. I don't know what you want. Do you want some form of entertainment that's ongoing on a weekly basis? Do you have any questions that you want to toss out at your boy? Whatever it is, we can make it personal, and then you can find your boy on Instagram, the YouTubes, and all over the internets, and in real life too, some places. It doesn't really matter where, but if you want to support your boy, there's definitely ways to do it. What was I talking about? I was talking about, I think, not teaching kids math, because let me get a sip of this. My throat's a little bit dry, dude. Because all the time everybody's like, well, you gotta learn how to count. I was like, what do we need to learn how to count for? 2 times 2 is 5. Okay, everybody knows that. Very easy, simple stuff. But it gets a little bit complicated, because it's just like, you learn how to count more. It's just, that's the thing. If we didn't know how to count, all this because at the end of the day, you go from childhood to adolescence to adulthood, and then by the time when you're in the hood, when you're in adulthood, you accumulate some debt, and you gotta know your numbers, because all the time you'll be getting checked. You want to get a mortgage. Do you know your numbers? What's your debt to income ratio or whatever? So you got to come up with a number. And if we didn't know how to count, maybe because that's the thing. It's we know how to count, but it's at the same time nothing really has value anymore. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'd be reading mad articles, dude. I'd be reading mad articles about the housing market in Canada, how it's just about to burst, dude. It's about to burst, and I feel like a lot of places are gonna it's gonna go through some sort of a. Here's the thing. This is what I mean when I'm talking about not teaching our kids numbers. Let's focus on not teaching our kids numbers, because the way we use numbers, it really doesn't impact us in a beneficial way. You know what I'm talking about? It's if you know how to count, it's good, but what are we keeping count of, and when do we keep count of what? All I'm trying to say is the housing market's outrageous, and we need to talk about a lot of things before we open up. Are we gonna get some sort of a infrastructure set up, a universal basic income, to give everybody the assistance they need to help themselves get uplifted and elevated into the next phases of their life, whatever it may be? We need something like that. And also, we need to tackle the issue of the housing market, the housing bubble. So we should stop perpetuating these numbers, essentially. That's what I'm saying. Forget about the numbers, because all I hear is like, lumber prices are going up, dude. Jack up the tariffs. Bring the tariffs and the sheriffs. Let's jack up the taxes. Let's hike them up. Everything's going to cost you more now because of this, that, and the other. You got to make sure the products don't have schmovid. Are they wearing masks? Whatever. Did they get vaccinated? Who knows? A lot of things to consider, but all I'm saying is we should definitely consider what we're doing with these numbers that because you learn how to count, right? We went over like 2 times 2 is 5, and then you learn how to count and add, and you get better at it, and you just keep doing that until you get to ridiculous numbers where you're talking about millions and billions and trillions, and all of a sudden you're looking at like 500 square feet worth of a million, 2 million sometimes worth of doll hairs, and it doesn't make sense. You're like, why does it cost so much? And well, it's because of, like, we've talked about this before, a little bit of speculation, a little bit of greed, a little bit of wanting to make that easy breezy money, a little bit of not asking questions when we're supposed to be asking questions, like, hey there, you want to come into our beautiful nation? Well, oh, cool. You have a vast amount of money with you, somewhere, upwards of $500,000, sometimes into the millions, and you're bringing it in. Cool. What would you like to do? Oh, you don't even speak the language sometimes. Nice. That checks one box. And what else would you like to do? Oh, you'd like to come in and invest in the housing market. Why? Why is that? Oh, interesting, because you've heard you can accumulate a little bit of wealth, and in like 5 to 10 years, it will double and triple your wealth. And it'll just be that surplus value, that money making money. You know what I'm talking about? And we don't ask questions. So we had a lot of foreign investors, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh man, too many foreign investors. We don't have enough domestic. Got to get that foreign investment taxes. We put a little tiny tax. It really doesn't impact the foreign investors because they're ballers. Let's just call a spade a spade. Who are we kidding? So they're balling out, coming in here, buying all the houses, and then people here living in the cities like Toronto, like New York, like whatever your country, whatever your cities are. I can't name all the cities in the world, man. Just take a couple and multiply that. And basically, it's become very unaffordable to live in the city. And the question is, well, if the housing bubble bursts, it's kind of not fair. It's kind of not fair because you've had a story told. You've been sold a story, a grand story of luxury, of land, of white picket fences, of barbecues, of your children going to nice schools. You having a dog, probably. Those nice packages that get sold to you when you're entering the adulthood, when they're like, you're 30 or 31 or 32 or in your mid-30s, you should definitely start your own family. And nothing says a good citizen like a nice box with a roof over it, maybe a couple of levels or two, maybe one in the basement, maybe have an attic, get the full package, but go for luxury essentially. And that's what that was. So we got sold on a lot of hype, and we're like, well, how much is this worth? I really do need this to be in the adulthood. And they're like, right now it costs $500,000. The next year it'll increase by 30%, and the year after that it'll increase by another 30%, and then boom, 10 years goes by, and then like 500 square feet again. We talked about it before, even in this video, it's costing you like $1 million or $2 million, right? So it's not working out. But if we were to burst the bubble, it's not fair, because the average folks out there, they've also made some purchases. The people who only have one home, who have a regular job, who are struggling to pay their mortgages. So if the housing bubble were to burst, they will definitely lose out a lot on their investment and on their, the supposed value that this house was supposed to bring. So that's not fair. But at the same time, it's like, if we don't burst the bubble, or if we don't somehow, well, here's the thing. We need to think about alternative ways. We need to think about alternative ways, because I don't see how we're going to keep raising the cost of everything and expect everybody to be able to afford it. Like, housing definitely needs to be fixed, and I don't necessarily have a solution, but maybe it doesn't need to come from a burst in the bubble. Maybe it needs to be some sort of a government program where you'd partner up with people and somehow make it easier to get access to purchasing some sort of a property. You know what I'm talking about? Getting people's foot in the door, essentially. We should do more of that. Realistically, you know what I'm talking about? Everybody should be what I'd like to achieve in our lifetime, or something, dude. If we can avoid creating a society where it's, divided between like renters and owner, where if everybody were to become owners, if we can get back to the basics, right? Because again, thought of luxury, right? We all had land at one point. Most of us, if you look at it generationally, like way back, we were all farmers, but we got delusional somewhere along the line, and we're like, ooh, the glitz of the glamour of the city. Let's go to the cities. So we sold the lands for mad cheap, and then we migrated to the cities for the sake of finding work, for the sake of living that good life. And we did it, and it was pretty sweet for a long time, dude. Not gonna lie to you, it was pretty sweet. But then everything came to a screeching halt a few times. It came to a screeching halt once. I think in a recent memory, it was 2008 that everything, came to a screeching halt. It was the housing market bubble that crashed in the US and affected the globe. And I think right now the globe is having that same kind of reoccurring feeling where it's like, oh my God, nobody actually has any money. All the money's been poured into property. Nobody's really creating anything. And that's not to blame like people or anything. It's because of like automation. You got satellites going up into space. You go to the grocery store, there's nobody even like checking out your food items. You just like, go to the aisle, you do your little walk, you crawl on the aisle floor, you grab all your items and get to the cashier. There's no cashier, there is just a little box, and you just like scan everything, you walk out, and boom. So lots of jobs, automation, cool beansies, but also like let's just somehow find a way, maybe a program, introduce some sort of a program where, and I don't know, I'm just tossing out ideas, put it in the back burner. It's not a full cooked idea yet, but maybe we could make it so that everybody can afford to buy a home of some sort. So you start to build some sort of equity. I don't know, unless we want to, there's all sorts of things we could do. We could just press reset, forgive everybody's debts, because like numbers, again, it's really good to count, 2 times 2 is 5, but everything above that gets a little bit complicated when you talk about millions and billions and trillions. And it's like, who do we owe this debt to? Ourselves, really. So it doesn't really matter. If you can, just press that reset button ASAP Rocky. Let's get everybody on a level playing field, and let's not do any more predatory lendings. How about that? But all of a sudden I'll hear like, ooh, we're gonna like, watch out for taking on precarious loans. It's like, man, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? It's not like the banks are just like giving away loans left, right, and center, dog. It's not like the banks are, at least not to the average folk. If you got a little bit of bank, if you got a little bit of that support from mom and dad, if you got a little bit of, if you got like 2 incomes, maybe you're working together. But if you're single, if you're one person and you want to like, build yourself some equity. Now, I particularly don't care so much for ownership as the reoccurring event of having to worry about like, oh, what am I gonna do with this rent money every month, and I'm paying this rent money and it's like not going anywhere, and only if I had enough for a down payment, and it's like really hard to gain that down payment. But you can help your boy, because I do like to be independent, and I do believe everybody should be doing something on their own. And I wanted to do like comedy and storytelling, attempting here at least, trying to point out to a little bit of facts here and there, a little bit of jokes, a little bit of getting in our feelings, crying out, like different stuff. But what I'm trying to say is we gotta have balance. So it's not fair for us to burst the bubble, have people lose millions of dollars on their investments, and start inflating the prices again. We need to have some sort of government program where the government will be like, whether it's through banks, I don't know if it's gonna be provincial or municipal or, federal, but we're gonna need to do some sort of reinvesting in infrastructure essentially. Banks need to, why do we have banks? Why do we have banks? Initially, people didn't even want banks. But you saw those westerns, and like people got mugged in the streets, or were like, man, home's not safe to keep my cash, so I better have a little bank. And then boom, a couple of 100 years later, you got these multi-conglomerate corporations all across the globe who have accumulated all this wealth and are just like sitting on your money, my money. And it's crazy. If we were all to go in together at the same time, let's just pick a date, pick a date, and everybody like go take out all your money. It would just, the system would crumble, because really there is not all that money. It's just like fabricated, because it's easier to just print money and like, label it and have it register and show somewhere, as to actually, if you were to like show it, if you were like, be like, give us all our money, it's hard, because they'll only have like a little bit of supply in their little stash box. And all in all, it needs to be a little bit more equal. So it's nice that people want to get out. It's nice that we want to get back to some sort of a normalcy, but let's not go back to the same old, unless we're talking about so up here. But we do need to have some sort of a re-infrastructure, like reimagine things. Let's rebuild things. Let's not go on the same old, routine, because right now, honestly, like a house should cost like anywhere between like 25 grand to 100 grand, depending on which city, which locality you're in. 100 G's doable. when you talk about millions of dollars, the average person cannot afford these things. Let's not kid ourselves. So again, you'd be lucky if you have parents who have helped you out with a little bit of the down payment. You'd be lucky if you're maybe, you got a nice job that's paying you six figures. But a lot of us are trying, and it's just like, man, you keep trying and trying, and that's fine. We're gonna keep trying. But I'm just saying it just takes a little bit of effort from both sides. That's all I'm trying to say. Man, got into the housing market, but you have to because it's really important. I honestly don't think we can like alleviate a lot of symptoms and a lot of issues and concerns if we were to just like, tackle them from the root. Because we keep looking at people, we're like, oh man, it's mental health crisis, it's on the rise, suicide, it's on the rise, drug overdoses are on the rise, violence are on the rise, everything's on the rise. And I was like, why? Well, it's because of poverty, it's because things have gotten out of hand in terms of how much value we've attached to them, and it's good to just like, wind it back. Let's reel it in. Pull it back. A little bit at least, right? No, not a little bit, a lot, because who are we kidding, dude? It needs to be fixed. And yeah, I don't know what it is, man, but that's the thing. So going down, down, sugar, we're going down swinging. I'm your number one with the public. Going down. Just briefly mentioning, like, talking about crypto, because it was going down this past week, dude. It was going down. That's what it is, man. That's what it keeps going down, crashing, skyrocketing, going on speculation. That's what that is. And it's just like we've run out of things to do because of the robots and the machines. And it's like, do you really want to be like, what? It's which is great. We're evolving. It's great. I think like work in general is going to be like transforming, and a lot of us are going to be. That's the thing. I feel like, in a sense, like we can take the positives. Let's focus on the positives. It's like we're all at the end of the day, we're all exchanging information. And like I just wish everybody would be getting some sort of compensation. You know what it is? Because like. We're not going out there like doing like most of us, you know what I'm talking about? Like you're not going out there like picking your own fruits and vegetables and your own like picking your own meats. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like, and a lot of jobs are really like getting redundant at this point with the advancement of technology. So we do need to, we're definitely shifting towards a technological and like information exchange period in our evolution, if you will. There's still like, work that needs to be done that requires labor and work and people out there operating different stuff, but it's going to get less and less and less, and it's already evident, man. You see it in your everyday life. Talks of, cabs becoming automated, us going in tubes, flying into places from under the ground, doing this, that, and the other. And it's just like, why don't we just like, because we got a ton of land, we got a ton of resources. I think it's just like, you know what it is, man? It's a little bit of corruption is what it is. It's like a little bit of the, it's the greasing of the pockets, the greasing of the different pockets, like in construction, for example, there's so much like, there's the mafia, right? Like, I don't have any like inside information, but like, it's kind of like, feels like it's like the mafia, because like it just keeps like, you want this thing done, you need a permit, you got to go see that guy. You need some equipment moved, you got to go see the other guy. You need to, get these goods from one point to another, you got to go see this other lady. And then all of a sudden it's like nothing gets done unless you're greasing pockets. Everybody's like inflating prices right now too, because of the whole schmovid situation, because everything costs more. Fuel costs more, lumber costs more, metal's gonna cost, everything's gonna just cost more. And it just feels like, well, why do we keep like doing this? It's the same material, right? It's not like the task is getting difficult. It's easier, it's way easier to make a home or whatever else you want to make today than it was 50 years ago. So why is it costing more? Why does it cost millions of dollars to acquire a home when it was like literally like 25 grand 50, 60 years ago? So these are the things that we need to look at and realistically adjust. Because back in the day, it could be just like one person, you mainly had one person working and they couldn't like pay their mortgage, pay off a house, feed their family, and that was fine. But now you got, at most cases, sometimes two parents working and still struggling to make ends meet. And that's why I've taken it upon myself to never become a parent, dude, because it is ridiculous. And yeah, by the time I'll go out, and when I leave this world, I'll probably, like, if I have accumulated some sort of a little bit of chunk of my, if we're still dealing with money, or so, I'll leave it to somebody. I'll leave it to somebody, and they can take it and run with it. But we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I do, at the same time, I'll definitely, it'll have some, it'll have conditions. It'll definitely have conditions. Like I've talked about this before. If I pass away, when I pass away, I don't want to be taxidermied, or lately I've also been thinking about maybe like taxidermy, but or also I could be like, maybe leave me in a preservative liquid, some sort of like a chamber where I'm just like floating in there. Or better yet, I also got this other idea. I wouldn't mind get like hooks, dude. Get some hooks and like hang me from my skin on my back, and just like let me like, I want to like haunt the place that I pass away in, if it can be done. And that's the thing. A lot of times you leave the hunting or the haunting to be like, done by metaphysical forces, but I want to just be there physically as well. I'll definitely do something like metaphysical as well to like make it an extra spooky episode, but put me on some like nice hooks on my back, get it all across my legs, do some like doing a Superman sort of thing, and I just want to be like at the entrance of the place that I pass away at, and like that I'll be like chimes, like how you like open a door and it goes ching 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 ching. It'll make a nice chime. I'll also make a noise, dude, and just greet everybody, just hanging from the ceiling. Hello, hello. Maybe I'll record some stuff, have it in my pocket. Maybe it'll like, yeah, and then yeah, you can like attach me to the ceiling, work some Wi-Fi magic in there so that every time somebody rings the bell, I'll answer the door, and like we'll get the whole system going. But point is, I don't even know what the point is, dude. Point is that we need to have balance, is what that is. That's the point. To have some balance. And back to Patreon. My intention is to essentially get around, I don't know, not even a big amount, dude, but like right off the bat, like let's put something that's real. If I can make, and I know I can, it's just gonna take some time and patience, but I do need like $2,000 to $3,000 to get me going per month. And I think, you can support your boy, dude. Easy breezy. $5 a month, 12 months. Keep doing that bad boy, and then we'll just multiply that. Yeah, I just need like 500 people or something, to on an ongoing basis. I'm not really good at math, but 500,000, 2,000 people signing up, and you can like sign out whenever you don't like it. You can just like dip out, be like, I don't like this anymore. It's not for life. It's not. This is the thing. We're not like that. There's no attachments. There's no like. This is not a marriage or anything. You can come in and get out of like, that's what it is. You can come in and get out as freely as you like. But that's the thing. Come support your boy. That's the thing. If we can see, I want other people to support me, and I'll be able to support other people. And I do want to be taking this on the road. So still gotta like stay put and be patient. But essentially down the line, we do need a little bit of government backing in a lot of aspects of our lives, and I think we've reached that point where we do really realize like chasing that money is redundant. There's really no point of like working for money. But also, yes, you do need a little bit of an incentive for people to go out there and try, but you don't want to have de-incentivize the system to the point where people just feel like they don't want to try at all because they don't have a chance. It's a fine line, right? You want to be tested, you want to be tried, but you don't want to like have this extremely overpowering structure over you working, and you're just like you keep fighting the good fight but nothing gets done. And that's all right, man. I just want you to guys focus on yourselves, focus on your work, whatever it is. We'll get it done. We'll get it together. That's what it is. It needs to be, that's the thing. It can't be just like take one side and give it all to the, it can't be so black and white. There's a ton of gray area. I've always talked about the gray area. Let's focus on the gray area, and there's a lot more to go around. That's all I'm trying to say. But this weekend we're gonna get up to a whole bunch of shenanigans in and around the city, hopefully, because it's nice outside, and I'm gonna try to incorporate some of the act in nature with people, maybe, or something, dude, because I miss people. Seriously. Mind hugs for everybody. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, I love you. Thank you for all your love and support. we're kicking butt, taking names one step at a time, and jumping through hurdles every day. You and me, doing it together. So what did I say before? Like the videos on Instagram. Check out Rob Sadri on YouTube. Over there, you'll get the full-length videos. And again, if you want to support your boy, go ahead, dude. 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks, however much you want, dude, do it. Go on Patreon, support your boy. We're a tiny little family. People are checking it out. They're talking about it, making whispers. They're like, what are you doing this long weekend, bro? And it's like, I don't know, bro, but all you can guarantee, I'll be watching Glad You Made It with this guy, Robbie Rob, and like, it's like wildfire, dude. It's like, we're so small, but growing at a massive pace, but like slow, but like we're growing, dude. It's crazy. Like I'll go check out the views. It's like 9 people have come and like checked out the Patreon. It's like growing each week one by one. It's like ooh, by year end it might get crazy. We might have 12, y'all. I don't know what to do with myself. It's getting out of hand, but you know, come one, join the ride. And that's what I'm saying, man. One step at a time, consistency, be persistent. Also stay in the moment, you guys. Stay in the moment and listen to your inner voice is what I'm telling myself and what I'd like to put out there for you guys as well. So go get it. Also give back, support each other, and we'll get through this. And I'm going to be seeing everybody out in the real world, hopefully sooner rather than later. Stay safe out there. We'll see each other definitely on Wednesday, but if I happen to pop in earlier, I've said it, I meant it, I'll do it. It's a surprise. You never know what you're going to get with this guy, but I'll be here every week. That's the whole point. I love you guys. Stay safe out there. Talk about it. Peace out.